Chris Meek and Gordon Noble were another punchy Peugeot team delivering the goods early on. And they got to know more about Welsh soil than they planned.
Small crest, braking 80, turn open 5 left. Repeat, turn open 5 left. You all right? Start her up again.
If there was a Formula Rally Composure Award, they'd be fighting for it.
Turn open 5 left here. 400. Keep left for turn long open square right.
But whilst inside the car was back to normal, outside was far from it. As they delivered their job list back to the service area, the despondent Meek, disappointed with his speed round the track, was told off for his speed through the service area. Not a good half an hour.
Second stage, one of the big long straights, but a 450 and the notes are 400 or something. We're up into 5th gear. Well, I seen the corner away in the distance, and I knew myself I had to brake early. Went on the brakes early, touched the brakes, and the car just flew. Went quicker and quicker and quicker. It's very disappointing so early on. I knew I had to just drive the first 2 stages to get a feel of the place, but I didn't expect that. But that's rallying, and I think we've lost over a minute, but no, we'll be back fighting on the next stage, so we'll see what we can do.
Whilst Meek
En met de opgave van Tavernet moest Antonio Galli, dat is ook een Zwitser, 26 punten pakken om het kampioenschap op zijn naam te schrijven. Het startte goed voor Galli, lag tweede na de eerste dag. En dan gebeurde dit tijdens de tweede etappe aan het stuur van zijn Citroën C2 Super 1600 in het decor gevlogen. En dat is een hard decor in Zwitserland.
Ersten Mal 21,77 Kilometer, sehr eng, enge Kurven und sehr hart zu den Bremsen und damit sollten mehrere Leute auch Probleme haben. Und dann dieser Abflug hier von Bruno Magalhaes, volles Rohr, 6. Gang, kommt hier beim Versuch aufzuholen. Jetzt hören Sie zu. Keine Bremsen, ohne Verzögerung schießt er hier ins Off. Viel Glück für die beiden, unverletzt.
Tessétek le őket! Ott vannak, leültek. Oljatok hátra, helyék vagytok!
Matinale Gian Domenico Basso en concluant la première boucle au 3e rang, et vous voyez sur cette image que eh bien, tout a basculé sans mauvais jeu de mots dans la spéciale numéro 4. tonneau pour Giandomenico Basso et pour Mitja Dota, son copilote. Pas de souci pour l'équipage qui a...
Record in the IRC. Jan Kopecky was also in trouble. He had a pretty good run going, but he was also caught out by a big piece of concrete right on the racing line. The 207 jumped, threw him off the road and rolled him out of the rally. Alessandro Bettega, son of legendary Attilio Bettega.
Of the break, and yes, they were begging for service park, I think. Very mixed conditions, and an awful lot was going wrong. Hallinan himself had an absolute nightmare. Cresta, though, well, he was one of those that seemed to be coping.
He was coping until this point, Carlton, when he
Yes,
slipped right off the road. Commentators curse off onto the grass and ended with the car on the side, and indeed that was the end of Cresta's rally.
Yeah, seemed to be coping, but anything but it was the answer. Yeah, it's just getting it a little bit wrong, and you see how you can slew, and the trees and just about everything else. You've got electricity pylons, gates on day 2. So Daisy, Suzuki fighting for a national championship points in the Gorka Aukstegi. Yeah, pushed a little bit too hard, rolled his Swift on special 8s, the longest special of the day. It was quite slippery, and some corners, well, the margin of error narrow. Driver co-driver thankfully unharmed with Gorka out. Suzuki relied on Jon Viñas to get some points in the Spanish championship. He was ranked 3rd in the local points. Well, Jonathan Perez last down special 5, usual mix of passion and optimism. Sadly his Mitsubishi Evo 9 caught fire, breaks the blame. Yes, stage 6.
Kopecky had enjoyed a successful rally up to this stage, but his luck was not to hold to the finish line. On the final stage, he pushed perhaps a little too hard and crashed. And the Skoda driver's mistake opened the door for Magalhães to claim a last gasp win. Hallinan set the second fastest time on stage 19.
Yeah, the big low was 2 broken vertebrae for Guy Wilkes. He's going to be off for a couple of months. Hopefully he'll make it back to the end of the season. Andreas Mikkelsen, the young Finn, yes, from former WRC regular, started his first of 7 event campaign. Started day 1 with down in 12th spot, but the Norwegian going off-road, and that was the end of his challenge here. It was taking prisoners, wasn't it, on the day? Too many. Special 2, where he lost 4 minutes and 26 due to that puncture and penalties, and yes, stays in the top 6 for the next 3 stages, which was pretty handy out there. Poor old Franz Wittmann, the smiler. Well, he's not smiling anymore, lack of experience perhaps. He was looking very, very good until that on special stage 5. Just check it out. Yep. Well, Wittmann had been talking earlier on, and Vika had been listening in, and you should have seen the sort of expressions on Vika's face when Wittmann was saying, "I'm loving it here, we're having a great time, everything's perfect." Well, clearly not. Certainly not for this man either. This lady, I should say. Berku Ketinkaya, her first IRC rally, and it just went from bad to worse for the all-lady Turkish crew. Yep, she's out, unfortunately, retired on special 5. Yeah, rocks the problem. Some of them getting dragged out by vehicles going further through, and isn't that nice? It's worrying times for Peugeot here.
In this stage, because you're 35 around seconds in front of Neville, setting the fastest time.
Okay, but I think the fast cars are behind me, so I think they'll be also very fast, even faster than me, because I made a mistake on the junction. I took the wrong way, so we had to come back to the road, so we lost a few seconds, but it was not so bad. 4 seconds maybe.
Well, we said he was absolutely on the limit. Sorry to talk over this interview, but that's Chris Meek. The door's open.
It's on its side, Carlton. Yeah, it's over.
It is over, I'm afraid, for Chris Meek. Well, we said he was absolutely on the limit, but that tells its own story. Sorry to have burst into that conversation there, but we just saw it to the right of our screens there. That is Meek and Nagel, and that is it. They were talking about suspension issues. We just hope that they are okay. At least the door is open here.
Well, we knew how hard they were trying there. I'm sure they'll be okay. He's out-braked himself and run wide as he's come down into this left-hander. Watching here on the brakes, you can see he's desperately trying to get the nose turned in, but he hasn't scrubbed off enough speed sideways and the A-pillar into the tree there. So it may be that the door is just slightly jammed shut by the tree. That's a great, great shame. Let's hope the guys. There we are. We can see Meek is out the car, left-hand drive, so he'll be out first, and then Nagel climbing out as well. That's a shame for the Peugeot UK crew.
Well, he's got a sense of urgency about him, but just trying to see what the signals are to the helicam, if anything. That's Chris out, and I'm just hoping that everything is okay. He's not exactly giving the thumbs up, but equally he's not exactly panicking here.
So in the car they should have an SOS OK board, and to the next car they will display SOS or OK. If they display OK, then the car doesn't have to stop. If they display SOS, then it means one of them is injured and they'll want the car to stop. So sitting up there waiting to give Andrucci a wave as he comes by.
Wow, well, what a shame. We lost Guy Wilkes with a couple of broken vertebrae at the beginning of this rally. And right now, as Markula comes in, unfortunately, we've also, Chris Meek is off the road, and we hope that they're both okay.
Oh, not good. Not good. We had a good fight. It's a shame.
I like that. We had a good fight. It's a shame.
Yeah, really sporting gesture. Hannon, genuinely disappointed there. It's a much more fun in a rally when you're having a good fight, and he will be feeling a little bit of Meek's pain. You know, they understand how hard it is rallying, and that's a shame. He's given the thumbs up to Andrucci, so everything's okay.
Oh, that's what we like to see. Well done, boys. I'm so sorry for them, though, and they will be very frank about how or where that went wrong later on.
Extremely sportsmanlike of Meek there. Just his first concern was to make sure that Andrucci knew that they were okay, because otherwise Andrucci would have slowed down to see he's sitting on the car, giving the thumbs up. It's really, really sporting of Chris, and that's gutting for the lads. There's not enough people there. I mean, they could go and see if they can find enough. The car doesn't look too badly damaged if they could have got it put back onto its wheels, but to be honest, it's all over Carlton.
Do you know what they're doing? They're literally seeing if anything that they left behind is going to hamper anybody else, and all credit to them. But what a sad sight to see these two great battlers, Chris Meek and Paul Nagel, walking away from this one.
Yeah, gutted for the guys. I think unfortunately all they've left behind is a couple of wheel lock-up marks. They're slowing the next car down because they're off to the side of the road. One of the things they don't want is another car to come off and pile into their car and cause an awful lot more damage than they've already done. So Meek thinking ahead. He's heading up the road now, just warning people what's happening. Back on board. You can see the 207 on its side, just off to the side of the road. That's a real shame, Carl. So I was looking forward to seeing the result of this stage in a battle this afternoon, but I think it's going to be Hannonan's now.
It is. There's the walk back. Not a great deal being passed between them here. I don't suppose they are fully spec'd up as to their emotions at the moment, unfortunately. I wonder where it went wrong, but the great thing about these pair is that they're always an open book, and they'll tell us exactly. Let's have a look. Oh, well.
Not quite enough speed scrubbed off, as we said, Carl. Just ran wide. If it had been 10 metres earlier or 10 minutes later, it was just scrub. You know, they've gone in and just clipped the tree. They would have been able to just stay on the gas possibly and drive it out, but they can't. They've found themselves.
Is that it's just the slowing down, not the speeding up, that's the problem. There it is.
That was the on-board replay. We could hear just a small.
Un point d'exigence où il faut faire corps total avec sa voiture et parfois on a peut-être... Oh, la faute! Regardez! Thierry Neuville qui part en tonneau! On est à l'avant-dernier virage de la spéciale et Nicolas Klinger venait de lui demander de bien rester concentré. Incroyable figure! Bon, la première chose, c'est qu'on sait que Thierry Neuville et Nicolas Klinger vont bien. C'est pas sur une sortie comme ça qu'on peut se faire mal dans une voiture de rallye moderne. Et on sort immédiatement de la voiture pour tenter de voir s'il y a moyen de faire quelque chose, mais là c'est une sorte de tourbière. Et Nicolas Klinger qui fait immédiatement signe à la caméra, tout va bien, ça on s'en doutait, tout va bien humainement, physiquement. Quel incroyable coup de théâtre nous venons de vivre là. On revoit cette faute, eh oui, un petit peu trop de...
On remonte sur la route. On est coincé.
Un petit peu trop de vitesse en arrivant sur le virage à droite et les spectateurs qui vont tenter d'aider Thierry Neuville. Et oui, il faut absolument tenter de dégager la 207.
Zit daar onder andere bij, net zoals Volkswagen. Het is de 4e wedstrijd van het seizoen daar in Rusland. Deze weggetjes doen ons erg denken aan de Rally van Finland. Een WK-wedstrijd die over 1,5 week verreden wordt met 2 Nederlanders. Mooie weggetjes daar. We zitten in het plaatsje Viborg en dat ligt ten zuidwesten van Sint-Petersburg. 500...
Incrível do Guilherme Strack e Ernesto Faria. Acidente espetacular. O carro decolou demais. Quando bateu com o pneu estourou. Eles acabaram capotando e desceram mais de 40 metros de ribanceira. Confira agora em câmera lenta. Uma imagem surpreendente desse brasileiro de rally. Ainda bem que a galera que estava ali junto do poste assistindo a prova estava esperta. Todo mundo se jogou pro mato e ninguém se feriu. Nem o piloto, nem o navegador. Foi um momento de muita tensão, muita expectativa. O carro realmente desceu 40 metros. E agora a gente vai escutar a palavra dos dois que estavam dentro do carro.
Terug bij de rallysport. En hoe? Dit is de Manx Rally met een behoorlijke crash van Nick Elsmore in de openingsfase van de wedstrijd. Belangrijkste is dat beide mannen ongedeerd zijn, rijder en navigator. Maar wat een pak schade. Oordeel zelf over de klap van Nick Elsmore. Vervelend is dat de auto de weg blokkeert. Let zometeen op de Escort die langs komt rijden. Die is van oud-WK-rijder Colin McRae. Te gast in een hele oude Ford Escort.